Hey, Laser Possum. I'm used to that reaction. Women are always seeing me and screaming in terror. Eh, I'm surviving. What am I going to do? Oh, nothing. I'm just going to talk about whatever's worth talking about. I'll just talk about whatever's worth talking about. No worries. Good night, Laser Possum. All right, so now other people are going to have to start entertaining me. Other people are going to have to start talking. Hey, Agent Smith. How are you? How are things? Eh, I worked, so meh. Never a good day when I have to work. Eh, best I can do is survive work days. Bleh. Anyways. Yeah, nobody coming in. Nobody wants to watch me tonight. I showered today for nothing. Absolutely nothing. I'm starting to wonder where everyone is. quiet evening, it seems. People don't start coming in the next few minutes. I might as well just might end up just ending the stream early just because no one here. Weird. I did see that apparently there are some weirdos who are upset with KFC, specifically in Ontario. Apparently, KFC in Ontario is going to start selling halal chicken and not sell any pork products, which that part results in a fair number of people saying, KFC had pork? Bacon on the double down. Yeah, apparently because KFC in Ontario is going to try to be more inclusive by selling halal chicken. Certain weird douchebags are pissed off and now threaten to boycott KFC. People who I'm betting don't even know what halal actually means. So that's vaguely amusing. Hey, Uncle Buck. How are things, Buck? You do? Absolutely nothing. Just waiting for people to come in so I can have something to talk about. Same shit, different toilet bowl, yep. Anyway, yeah, I was just talking about the fact that KFC in Halal is going, or KFC in Ontario is going to start going with halal chicken. So racist shitbags are pissy about that. Vanna, finally. I spent 10 minutes just trying to. I was getting late. Fair enough. Need to go get some ice. I'm thirsty. Well, frankly, you got time. It's been nothing going on in chat tonight. No one's been here. I spent like 10 minutes just talking to myself. Scapegoat, finally. About time people showed up. I'm just saying, it's been spent 10 minutes just talking to myself because there was no one here. There was no one in chat. Laser Possum was around for like a minute. Been losing weight for me. I've been on here though. I've been on for 13 minutes now. I've been live for 13 minutes. Became disoriented, and I think I might have accidentally denied my next door neighbor his right to life. Meh. Your neighbor's probably a douche. Your neighbor probably sucks anyway. You hate him? Hey, look at me. Uh, Pretty much nothing. Yeah. About the most interesting thing, I was talking about this earlier when there was nobody here. Hey, so Tweety. Yeah. When there was no one here, I was talking about this. KFC. KFC in Ontario is going to start selling halal chicken, and will also no longer sell anything with pork in it, which I guess just means like the double down. So yeah, KFC now going to start selling halal chicken, which stupid people are now angry about it. You look at me. Do you like the way she looks? I mean, I can barely like I can't really see the profile picture. You're dying, Vanna? You should probably avoid that. You should try not to dying. Like the profile pictures are so small, I can't see them. They're too small to see. Botfly removal videos? Ew. That sounds like something I would absolutely not want to watch ever. Hey, Becky. Chick-fil-A? Fuck Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A funds homophobia, so fuck them. I've visited this before. I mean, sort of, I guess. Um, Satisfying like Pitbull. I mean, I don't like watching Pitbull videos either. The only like the furthest I've been into the U.S., Messina, which is like right on the other side of the border. You know, small town, upstate New York, right across the border from Cornwall. Went there a few times as a kid to go to the mall. Going to the mall was going to the mall in Messina was a big thing in Cornwall when I was a kid, just because the prices were good. It was cheaper than shopping here in town was, so like for certain things at least. For certain things, it's cheaper to hit up the mall in Messina, so people would regularly take trips down there just to for shopping trips. You're drunk. I can believe it. I can believe that, Vanna. Then we go to Canada to cruise, Vancouver. And we stayed for a week at West Edmonton Mall. I have been to the West Edmonton Mall. It's pretty big. I don't even know what stores are there anymore. A long time ago, 25 years ago that I went there. So I remember they had like an amusement park in there, like a theme park. I remember they had like a theme park, and I think I feel like they had like a submarine thing. Roller coaster yet. Yeah, I never checked out the amusement park in the mall. And I didn't take the submarine either. I don't think I was there. I don't think I was actually there for all that long. I don't think I had all that much time to spend in the mall. So just kind of browsed it a little bit. Almost upset that people are allowed to smoke in the building. She kept telling them it was disgusting. It is disgusting. I suspect at this point, by now, I suspect that smoking would be banned inside the mall itself. But yeah, smoking is disgusting. If I had taken the submarine scapegoat, where would I hide a submarine? I mean, suppose bathtub. We would have to hide in the bathtub, right? Where else are you going to keep a submarine? Needs the water. Submarine at that mall is pretty central to bring people in. Yeah, like I said, I mean, I don't know that I'd be comfortable taking a submarine anyway. You know, they advise you to not chug water. Like, I don't think I would have been comfortable riding in a submarine anyway, but like I said, I didn't really have that much time to spend in the mall. So, yeah. I need to clip my nails. Once I finish this live, I'm going to clip my nails. Septic tank seems bigger. But septic tanks are gross. Septic tank, that's just ew, man. Ew. Septic tanks mean not paying the government for your waste. Sure, but it's still ew. Made a pact with a friend to eat each other's toenails. Also ew. That's gross. Bernie Sanders. It is not Bernie Sanders. No, it's Cove from the visual novel Our Life, Beginnings and Always. a visual novel that we played on the channel. So, yeah. And he was our boy. Hey, Trash Pandy. Go get him. But he's all the way over there. Eh, 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 eh. He's married, yep. To us, though. He's married to us. The doll is married. Cove is married. The character. The game ends with there's DLC. There's DLC for the game where the player character marries Cove. You don't have to marry him. You can just be friends with him. But if you choose the romance route, then yeah, you can marry Cove. What's funny about what? I was under the table at the reception. That you were. Where you belong. Hey, Color Purple. When I tried to play footsie with Scrape, she put my toe in her mouth. How's life been going? Eh. Same old, same old. Bit it off. Yeah, life has just been life. I have a mod coming. My kid got me watching anime now and then. I don't remember the name of the shows. Yeah, it can be tough remembering names. And text waiting for the hurricane to hit us. Yeah, that sounds awful. Good thing about where I live, we avoid any murder storms. Yeah, we don't get hurricanes or tornadoes. We don't get earthquakes. Inuyasha. Y'all can freeze to death now, though. Well, sure, but I mean, we've got heating. Hey, oranges, we've got heating. See, I'll never had hurricanes. Yeah, I mean that's sort of West Coast. My Hero Academia. Sailor Moon. She is the one called Sailor Moon. Macadamia nut salsa cookies sound so good. What makes Canadians so apologetic? I don't know. I was just. I don't know. The British influence? I don't know. It's a defense mechanism. It's a defense mechanism. That's what it is. I think it's a defense mechanism because it's like living next to the U.S. Playing hooky from no. No, I finished. I finished work an hour ago. Apologize, kids want to see PCs. Not that. I mean, we don't. We're like we're very we're very adamant that we're not American. But no, I was thinking like living next to the U.S. We gotta. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Even when we don't do anything wrong. Oh, sorry. It's a defense mechanism for to not get shot. Every time I eat hot Cheetos, I want to die, but I return. Why? Because they're addictive. 119 degrees. Ugh. Brutal. Still 95 degrees at midnight. Ugh. Just terrible, though. That's just terrible. That is too fucking hot. You guys welcome the draft dodgers? Yep. Yeah, we just started to think not our problem. We're just like, whatever. We don't care. Not sure if Canada had abolished the draft at that point. Every time I take a cruise out of Vancouver, I see Canadians on ship. They say sorry a lot and are very sheepish. Okay. So Canada never actually abolished the draft. It just we never really had it. We only used it during World Wars One and Two. Might be showing my age if I talk about it too much. Feel free to show your age. I didn't even know there was more than one. How do I feel about the way things are going in Canada? I mean, Canada's a whole thing. Like, things absolutely could be better. Trudeau. I feel like Trudeau needs to be, way further to the left. Yeah, I'd like him to fight way harder for executed. No, I wish Trudeau was willing to fight a lot harder for things that are actually going to help regular Canadians. Fight harder to, yeah, I suppose. Healthcare is suffering throughout Canada. Yeah, yeah. His father, Pierre Trudeau, was prime minister back in like the 60s, 70s. Yeah, healthcare isn't doing great. Cost of living is running out of control. That said, there are problems on a federal level, and then there are problems on provincial levels. Living in Ontario, we are fucked. We are fucked with a conservative government right now. Doug Ford is just destroying this fucking province. He's been an unmitigated disaster. Blatantly corrupt. Deliberately wrecking everything so that he can justify privatizing it all. That or a hockey player. The two jobs in Canada. You say the Canadian feel like Trudeau's not liberal enough? I would say I don't feel Trudeau's liberal enough. As far as how most Canadians feel, hard to say. There's a lot who do feel he's not liberal enough. There's a lot who maybe aren't really sure which way they want him to go, but who feel that, the current approach just isn't working. Those current policies are just not really working. And there's a fair number who feel that he is corrupt. Conservatives, obviously, there's the Conservative Party. If Biden doesn't get out, will Trump have an easy win? Seems like a nice place. Expensive. Is there a core belief system in Canada like the US Constitution guiding you all? I mean, we do have our Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Which was drawn up in the 80s. As far as Biden goes, I don't think it'll give Trump an easy win. And truthfully, even if Biden does step down, it's hard to know if that would actually would improve chances this close to the election. It would make the Democrats look would make the Democrats look pretty bad if Biden stepped down. Except that it also makes the Democrats look bad that he's still in. He absolutely should have stepped down after the midterms. Like once the 2022 midterms were over with, he should have announced that he was not going to run for re-election, so that Kamala Harris would become the new presumptive nominee, and he'd throw his weight behind Kamala Harris. Say, next couple of years, prepare her to take over the reins. See, he had a night off. He had an off night. Yeah, reportedly he had a cold and everything. Mom was left. He was. The 2020's turnout was all about getting Trump out. Because Trump is hated. And that's what 2024 is as well, is keeping Trump from getting back in. It sucks that that's the only thing that the Democrats are willing to offer right now. Biden's campaigns in both 2020 and 2024 are entirely about beating Trump. He's not Trump. That is the absolute best that the Democrats can say about Joe Biden. He's not Trump. You believe Trump is being Biden in all polls? Yeah, I mean, polls can be tough. Polls showed that Hillary Clinton was going to beat Trump back in 2016. Polls are very difficult to judge and getting more difficult these days because of how many young people are left out of them. So, a group of people willing to support the vote for hatred of Trump. We prefer more war or mean tweets. Except I don't think the conflicts going on right now. Ukraine, Russia's invasion of Ukraine, would it have happened under Trump? Maybe not, but only because Trump would have been just going along with anything Putin said. Like I suspect that Trump would pull U.S. support of Ukraine and just let Russia have it, and just completely appease, just complete appeasement of Russia. It would have been a coup. Yeah, like it's Trump just would have straight up appeased Putin. Um, and then as far as like Israel's ethnic cleansing in Gaza, Trump has come out and said that he's fine with it. Trump's not going to do jack shit to help the Palestinians. Said Biden isn't doing jack shit to help the Palestinians either. So they have the exact same policy on Palestine, like just 100% the exact same the exact like in terms like aside from like you know Biden occasionally being like, oh, you gotta be more careful, Biden isn't doing jack shit to help Americans. Yeah, I mean, every once in a while he'll like pull out an executive order to forgive some more student debt or something along those lines. Like every once in a while he'll sort of pull out something that actually helps some people. So they're like, hey, look. But he never like fights for any of it. Lowest unemployment rate since the 60s or some shit. Hey, hello, Craig. Okay. Eh, surviving. So yeah, Biden sucks and he always has. Biden has been awful for decades. Then you got his opponent is Donald fucking Trump. Hey, Anunnaki. Do I want to win? I want them both to drop dead of heart attacks. this, this is an election where it's like, can both of them please just die of old age? Like, please, both of them just fucking heart attacks right like today. Both of them just drop fucking dead. Or at least like Trump drops dead, Biden, at the very least, severe enough that he's no longer able to run and Harris has to take over. Not that Harris, I'm not a huge, not that I'm a huge fan of Harris either. She's a cop, but whatever. Do you mean RFK? He's fucking terrible. Kamala will take over. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge fan. I'm not a fan of Harris. She is a cop, and yeah, she's not great, but frankly, she's better than Biden. Lots of people in jail. Yeah, yeah, she was. Yeah, she did. She did put a lot of people in jail. More votes than Obama. Would Harris get more votes than Obama? Um, I mean, depends who she's running against. Biden get more than Obama. What I would say is not Trump got more than Obama. More people voted against Trump than voted for Obama. That is sort of like what I would say. Even in 2020, Biden was not a candidate that fired people up. Now he has his supporters. He has people who like him and think that he's who thought that he was the best man for the job and blah blah blah. But for the most part, he was the guy who could beat Trump. Eh. Are you a fucking 2020 like? Are you a fucking conspiracy? Bull fucking shit, Tweety. Voter fraud. Yeah. The reality is that voter fraud is exceptionally rare. And by the way, in a significant number of cases, uh, people caught engaging in voter fraud were Republicans. The 2020 election was not fucking stolen. There was no widespread voter fraud that changed the results of the election. Trump fucking lost. It's that simple. Trump fucking lost. Anyone who thinks otherwise is just a fucking jackass conspiracy theorist who can shut the fuck up. There's a reason no court has actually, like, didn't Al Gore have more votes than Bush? Slightly, yeah. It was very close. Yes, Tweety. Yes, Tweety. I think that in 2020, yeah, there were more Biden votes than there were Obama votes in 2008 or 2012. Gavin Newsom. Nah, I don't really know that much about him. I think the old white man got more votes. Again, because it wasn't about Biden. It was about Trump. It was about the fact that people absolutely loathe Donald Trump. Took me 15 minutes to say Gavin Newsom. That happens sometimes. At least you did eventually remember it, Vanna. Like, is it going to be either 15 minutes or is it going to be 3 hours from now you're going to remember his name? Trump really wanted Georgia to find 11,000 white votes. Yeah, Trump genuinely wanted election fraud. Like Trump wanted to actually steal the election. He's the one who actually wanted to steal the election. He wanted fraud to take place in his own favor. Obama had so many celebrities. Sure. But at the end of the day, no one saw either of the Obama elections as existential. 2020 was one of those elections that was like an existential threat. Like, it was like, it wasn't. It wasn't like normal elections in that sense. It was something where people were genuinely terrified for the state of the country. Can't have an election when more than half people distrust the system. Right, but I mean, like, so here's the thing, Tweety. So Republicans have spent the last 4 years, more than that, frankly. Republicans have spent past 20 years, really. Yeah, like they spent the past 20, Republicans have spent the past 20 years, and even more than that, sowing distrust in the system. Anytime a Republican doesn't win, it's voter fraud. Every single Republican loss over the past 20 fucking years has been the result of fraud. Oh, it's fraud. They're engaging in voter fraud. They're fraud. Every fucking time. Meanwhile, Republicans make every fucking effort to ensure, that elections go their way. She accused Trump of using Russia to win. So that's something different. That is accusation of election manipulation. And the reality is, that is a thing. Russia absolutely was interfering in the 2016 election and the 2020 election. Russia interferes in elections all over the world all the time. And US does the same. Countries interfering in elections is, that is a long and proud tradition. As long as there have been elections, there have been outside agitators trying to interfere in them. But like, here's the thing: when chats are dangling in Florida, yeah. I believe it's possible by these election interference. I mean, if you mean like fraud, then no. I mean, like, it's hard to say. Like, it's hard to say what really qualifies as interference in that sense. But like, Russia is known to use, its troll farms. Like, that's a known thing. People who just pay to spend all day going on social media posting fake news stories. Like, it's well known that Russia does that. And frankly, I would be surprised if the US doesn't do the same thing. I suspect that Canada probably does it. I suspect that just about every country probably, you know, probably has people who spend money on probably overseas on, like, paying some company who has, some center overseas that employs a bunch of people whose job is to go on social media and post fake news stories or bump up engagement on specific stories and shit like that. I mean, I think USA elections are more dirty than Canadian elections. Absolutely. You had to put it better than how likely it is on the bottom of this bit over. I would say very unlikely, Tweety. Because I am a fucking nobody. Nobody's going to spend money on, nobody's paying somebody to come into my fucking channel. Nobody's paying money to have someone come into my channel to spread conspiracy theories. No. You do this shit for free. But here's the other thing I would say, Tweety. Hey, Del Del. Before I go, here's one other thing I will say. I forget which state it was. I want to say Wisconsin. Might have been another state. But in 2020, the Republican legislature of one of the states submitted a voting map. Map was contested, and the state Supreme Court ruled that that particular voting map was unconstitutional. It was a violation of the state's constitution, and the court demanded that the legislature redraw that voting district map. The Republicans resubmitted that exact same map. As Wisconsin, that's what I thought. They submitted that exact same map. And once again, the Supreme Court said, no, it's unconstitutional. It's the same fucking map. It's unconstitutional. Redraw this shit. And sent it back to the legislature, who once again submitted that exact same fucking map. That is how Republicans cheat. For all the bitching, for all the Republicans scream and shout about Democrats engaging in a voter fraud, Republicans cheat. They lie, cheat, and steal to win elections. They come up with these ridiculously gerrymandered maps, and even when they are told, no, this map is unconstitutional, come up with something else, they use that same map. They just ignore the courts when it suits their purposes. Despite all their claims of the Constitution, we gotta support the Constitution, stand up for the Constitution, which they then fucking ignore when it suits their benefits. So, Republicans fucking cheat. Ilhan Omar having an event where not a single word of English is spoken. Who cares? Fucking cares. Gerrymandering's been the main thing in their states. Exactly. The Republicans gerrymander to the point of it being they've got it down to single fucking households. They'll purge voter rolls illegally. They do all this shit that is designed to prevent people from voting, that is designed for them to choose their voters. Rather than allowing the voters to choose the candidates, hey, PK, the Republicans choose their voters. Did you ever get that rice cooker? Yes, I have been using it, oranges, for the past few weeks. Republicans complain about Democrats cheating because Republicans engage in so fucking much cheating. They cannot fucking win without it. Anyway, on that note, I am going to leave now. I am going to end it for tonight. So, thanks for coming. And I'll see you tomorrow. So, hashtag Scrapecoats Curse, and good night, everybody.